The street was alive with noise, car horns, hurried footsteps, fragments of conversations floating past like smoke, but Daniel Moore felt none of it belonged to him. He sat on the cold pavement as if he had been placed outside the world itself. His jacket was torn at the elbow, his shoes dust-stained and cracked, his hair unkempt. In his hands rested a small cardboard sign, the words uneven and fading, "Please help. Hungry." People flowed around him like water around a stone. Some glanced and instantly looked away, their faces tightening as if poverty were contagious. Others didn't bother pretending. A man in a tailored suit slowed just enough to sneer. "Get a job," he muttered, adjusting his cufflinks before walking on. A woman with a designer handbag crossed the street entirely, clutching it closer to her chest. A group of teenagers laughed openly. One lifted a phone, snapped a picture, and joked, "He looks fake poor." Daniel lowered his head, not out of shame, but because each word cut deeper than he expected. He had anticipated rejection, but not how heavy it would feel when it came without hesitation. What no one knew was that this man, sitting on the pavement, was Daniel Moore, one of the wealthiest businessmen in the country. He owned skyscrapers, tech companies, investment firms that moved markets with a signature. His name opened doors, silenced rooms, commanded respect. Yet all that power had come with something darker, doubt. Doubt about people. Doubt about kindness. Doubt about whether compassion still existed when there was nothing to gain. For years, Daniel had been surrounded by polished smiles and calculated loyalty. Everyone wanted something. Every handshake carried a price. Somewhere along the way, he began to wonder, if I had nothing, would anyone still see me as human? So he made a decision that shocked even himself. He removed his expensive watch, left his luxury apartment, wore old clothes, and stepped into the city without security, without assistance, without his name. Just him, and the truth. The hours dragged on. The sun climbed higher, its heat pressing down on his shoulders. His stomach twisted with hunger. His throat burned with thirst. He quietly repeated the same words to passing strangers, "Please. I haven't eaten all day." No one stopped. For the first time in decades, Daniel Moore felt invisible. Then, near mid-afternoon, someone did what no one else had done. She was a young woman named Aisha. Her clothes were simple, her sandals worn thin. She carried a small bag of groceries, rice, vegetables, bread, clearly measured to last her carefully through the week. She slowed. She stopped. She didn't rush past or look away. She looked at Daniel, really looked at him. "Sir," she asked softly, "are you okay?" Daniel met her eyes. "Just hungry." Aisha hesitated for only a second. Then she reached into her bag, pulled out a loaf of bread and a bottle of water, and placed them in his trembling hands. "I don't have much," she said quietly, "but you shouldn't go hungry." There were no cameras. No audience. No performance. Just a simple act of humanity. "Thank you," Daniel whispered, his voice breaking despite himself. As Aisha walked away, Daniel felt something unfamiliar warm his chest. Hope. Real, undeserved, quiet hope. And he didn't know it yet, but the world was about to feel it too. Chapter 2. As evening shadows stretched across the street, a sudden hush rippled through the crowd. A sleek luxury car pulled up to the curb, its polished surface reflecting the setting sun. Heads turned. Phones lifted. A man in a sharp suit stepped out and walked directly toward Daniel. "Sir," the man said clearly, his voice carrying. "We've been looking for you. The board meeting is ready. The company needs you." Laughter broke out. Someone scoffed. "This guy? A beggar," another voice said. Daniel slowly stood. He straightened his back. Something in his posture changed, quietly, unmistakably. His eyes sharpened. His voice, when he spoke, was calm and steady. "I think it's time." The assistant turned to the stunned crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "this is Daniel Moore, billionaire owner of Moore Holdings." Silence fell like a weight. Phones slipped from hands. Mouths hung open. Faces drained of color. The same people who had ignored him, mocked him, avoided him now stared as if reality itself had cracked open. Apologies spilled out in panic. "I didn't know." "I'm so sorry, sir." Daniel raised his hand gently. "No," he said. "You didn't know. And that's the point." Then he asked a question that cut deeper than any accusation. "Who helped me today?" No one spoke. From the back of the crowd, a small voice answered, trembling but honest. "I did." Aisha stepped forward, her eyes wide with fear and confusion. Daniel looked at her, and smiled. "You gave when you had little," he said. "You saw a human being, not a condition." Tears filled Aisha's eyes. The next day, the story spread everywhere. Daniel paid off Aisha's debts, funded her education, and gave her family a home. He created a foundation to feed the homeless, staffed by people who once lived on the streets. He didn't punish those who ignored him. He simply reminded the world of a truth it had forgotten. Kindness should never depend on status. Respect should never depend on wealth. Because sometimes, the poor man begging on the street isn't poor at all, and sometimes, the richest people in the world are the ones who give when they have almost nothing.